We've been conditioned to write clean, maintainable code, and that's a good thing. But what if that advice is costing you 10 times performance and you don't even realize it? That is, until you're dealing with 40 million rows. Let's dive in. Here I have two functions. One uses a data reader class to properly reference data, so we got row.volume, row.prices, and row.category. The reason we want to write like this is if someone changes the data coming into our program, we don't want to have to rewrite every function that uses that data. And in this case, we won't have to. New fields don't cause us a problem because all the existing fields would have the same name. Now let's look at the second function. This is written for speed. It uses direct indexing. So here, my total sales for tech is actually, if row 1 equals tech, then total sales plus equals row 2 times row 3. That is so bad when you come back to this code in a month and try to work out what it's doing. And you will be forced back into this code if anyone changes the order of any of the fields in the returns query, which will happen at some point whether you like it or not. In the rest of the code, I set up my data headers, and then I multiply the rows by a number to make it a much bigger dataset. Here I have a test runner that just runs each function to test its performance and prints out the results. So let's run it now for 40 rows, and you'll see it's finished. Now, unless someone was actually looking for the performance of this data reader object, they'd think it was absolutely fine, and for this level of data, it is. But when we look at the numbers, something kind of scary jumps out. The direct indexing takes only 3.6 microseconds. In contrast, the data reader takes 28.9 microseconds. On small datasets, this is absolutely fine, but as we push to larger and larger datasets, this could begin to cause a problem, as the difference is actually 8 times slower for the data reader. When I'm testing the performance of my code, I don't like to go small in testing. So let's test it with 40 million rows. And I jumped straight to the result here because it took so long. 40 million rows took 16.87 seconds using the data reader and 1.688 seconds using direct lookups. That's a 10 times difference. And my 1.6 seconds is probably absolutely fine, but I can guarantee my 16 seconds isn't. So in this situation, we want to look for somewhere between the good code and the terrible code. Before we move any deeper, a word of warning. If your code is fast enough for what you need, don't bother changing it, don't look any deeper. It's only when you have to reach certain performance targets that we have to start looking at things like this. And I have tried many things over the years to get this kind of work to be fast. I've tried named tuples, I've tried dictionary lookups, all kinds of things. Nothing comes even close to direct indexing. And in some languages you'll be absolutely fine because they're fast enough. But I'm working in Python and that is notoriously slow for things like this. One place I have had a success is a little bit hacky, and I'm not a massive fan of it, but it does solve my fundamental problem. And that is by injecting global variables that will store the relationship between my data column, number, and the name. So you can see this code here, when it first runs, it takes the column headers and builds a series of global variables that I'm namespacing using a string. I then pass in the globals for the module so that the globals will be restricted to that module, and then we can use those names interchangeably for index numbers, meaning that if my data changes, my code will still work. Now there's all kinds of possible race conditions that could occur here, so there is some overhead in just creating a lock that prevents two people trying to create the same globals at the same time, and then anyone else will just use the globals already loaded and not bother trying to recreate them. My overall point here is that sometimes following the rules of clean or maintainable code just aren't an option when you're stuck to a certain language and you've got a certain task within a certain time limit. At that point, we have to start looking at how we can solve really complex problems with performance. But we should only do that when it's absolutely necessary, and we need to test both sides of the equation, because actually creating global variables is slower than my object lookup for 40 rows. In fact, it doesn't break even till around 4,000. So what does your average dataset look like? All of these things have to be really carefully considered. The other thing to note is that when you have particular problems like this and you're working at larger scale, you can't just use cookie cutter solutions like ORMs, which will force you into an even bigger object model. I hope you found this video useful. I'm currently working on a video on why ORMs shouldn't even exist in my eyes. You can check this out top left as soon as it's ready. And with that, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.